You finally built the perfect report. Clean logic, clear definitions, it works. And the best part? People actually love it. But then someone duplicates it. They add a random filter, they rename a metric, they share a copy with someone else who tweaks it again, and suddenly nothing matches anymore. Hey, why is this row different from the last week's dashboard? Did you change something? I thought we agreed this metric meant X. And now it's your fault, even though the logic was fine, even though your report still shows the right number, even though you didn't touch anything. Hey there, it's Yevgen here from OWOX. What we've just discussed is the trap of the classic self-service reporting. It's not that people shouldn't explore reports, but it's that you gave them the answers and they rewrote the questions. Here's the truth. It's not access that causes that problem. It's the lack of control around how that access is used. And in this lesson number 3 from the mini course called From Bottlenecks to Data Hero, how analysts can deliver self-service reporting without losing control, I will show you exactly how to fix that, how to give your team what they need without you losing control of your work, without being the bottleneck, without being the cleanup crew, without becoming the guy everyone calls when their version breaks. Yes, before we dive into it, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and enable notifications, because we really create content for you, we feel for you, and we build products for you. With this being said, let's get into it. Let's talk about where self-service analytics actually breaks. It starts with good intentions. You want to empower other teams. You want to stop being the bottleneck. You want people to get answers to their questions without waiting for you to unblock them. Great. So you give them access. You share the dashboards, you point them to the data, and for a moment it feels like it's working. But then someone duplicates the dashboard, adds a few filters, changes a field name, removes a metric that looked confusing, or just the one that they do not want to share with the boss. And they forget to apply the same filter across tabs. Now the numbers are off. 2 versions of the same report, 2 completely different outcomes. And they ask you questions. Why is this metric value different here? Did you change something? What's the correct number? And just like that, you are the support desk again. You are debugging reports you didn't build, trying to reverse engineer logic you didn't change, and firefighting instead of analyzing. Here is why this happens. Most self-service tools give access to the data, but not control over the logic of how this data was retrieved. They are just disconnected from the source of truth, and you, the analyst, become invisible in the process. The metrics you defined? Optional. The joins you built? Overwritten. The guardrails you tried to set up? Gone the moment that someone hits duplicate. And when everyone builds their own version, that's when logic drifts. That's when trust breaks. That's when you lose control. That's the real problem. Not self-service analytics by itself, but self-service analytics without structure, without control, or without ownership by you, the data analyst. That's what we're going to fix starting now. So what does good self-service actually look like? It's not about locking everything down. Yeah, and it's definitely not about handling over raw access and praying for the best. No, it's not about this. It's about building a system, one that gives business users the freedom to explore data and answers to their questions within the structure that you defined. So with you keeping the keys, you keeping full control so they can get trusted data. Here's how it should work. Business users do not write SQL, right? They don't see it. They don't pull from raw tables. They don't guess which fields to join or how to calculate rows. They use pre-built reporting layer data marts. The ones that you've already defined, the ones you have already tested, the ones you've set the relationships and join keys between, the ones that reflect the truth as you see it. Or even better, they chat with the modeled and semantized data using something like the OWOX AI assistant. and they ask, what was the revenue by channel last quarter? Or how did campaign performance trend in Germany this month? And the assistant answers, not based on raw data, but based on your logic. They would get exactly the same answer as you would answer them. It only shows them the metrics you have defined, the joins you've created, the fields you have exposed. If you haven't defined rows, there is no rows for them. They cannot get the answer, and you get a notification about that you need to add the definition of rows into the model. If you didn't map campaign names to UTMs in the logic layer, they don't see a broken blend. They see nothing at all. That's the point. They explore the data you have prepared, not the raw data in the warehouse. They work inside your system, not around it. Parameters are allowed. Dates, campaign, countries, sure. But only for the fields you have made available in the model. And when reports gets built, they pull from the report layer with verified, shareable metrics, or from the queries that combine marts in the logic layer, but only the same way that you have joined them. They don't have access to raw source tables. They don't touch the metric logic. They can't break anything. This is how you stay in control while enabling fast, reliable answers to business questions. And when you use something like the OWOX AI assistant, you add a layer of natural language on top, which means business users get to ask real questions, but the answers always come from your system, your SQLs, your data marts, your logic. This is what a real self-service looks like. Empowered exploration with analyst-defined boundaries. Freedom to ask questions without breaking everything underneath. You're not saying no, you're saying, hey, actually go and self-service. Ask anything, but only within the world I've built for you. And that's how you scale reporting without scaling house. So, how do you actually set this up? If you haven't already done it, your first step is simple. Download the SQL Library Starter Checklist. I'm already tired of talking about this. It's linked right below this video. That's the foundation. Start with what you already have, your existing SQLs. The SQLs you've written already a few times. Those are your reporting layer data marts. Go to OWOX BI and just add them. It's completely free. You've already written the logic. Now, you just need to publish it once. And when you do it, you can share them safely inside our tool, just like we do in OWOX. These aren't raw queries. Those are verified, reviewed, trusted SQLs authorized by you. Business users will be able to run them, explore them, apply filters, but they won't see the SQL. They won't be able to edit it. They won't accidentally break anything. Now, step back one layer. Once your reporting marts are live, go and set up your logic layer. This is where you define joins, build relationships, and organize your metric logic. Then, group that logic data marts into contexts like marketing, product, sales, and share those contexts with relevant teams. This way, when they are able to use the OWOX AI assistant or just running reports, they are only working inside the boundaries that you have approved. And don't forget to use consistent naming across the fields and data marts so people can actually find what they need. And yes, OWOX BI also gives you usage dashboards so you can track what's being used, who is using it, and how often. That means fewer surprises, more confidences, and better reporting decisions. This is how you enable real self-service while keeping your system stable, your logic protected, and your sanity intact. So, let's bring this all together. Self-service doesn't mean giving up control. It means building the structure once so people can actually explore it confidently, without breaking your logic or pinning you every time they need a new filter. It means protecting your SQLs while still answering business questions. It means setting boundaries so you stay in charge and they stay informed. Because when it works, you go from the bottleneck to backbone. You've built something that they can rely on, and you are free to do actual analysis again. Now, in the next lesson, we're going to talk about something that almost no one does well: keeping your reporting system clean and trusted over time. Because the hard truth is, even a great reporting setup degrades if you do not track what's being used, by whom, and how often. We'll talk about how to identify dead dashboards and reports, spot logic drift before it spreads, and build a system that doesn't just work once, but keeps working months later, years later, and you don't spend days on maintaining it. So, before you go, if you haven't done so yet, download that SQL library starter checklist right below this video. Give me a thumbs up or actually thumbs down. I know, I'm not perfect. Subscribe to the OWOX BI YouTube channel and drop a comment down below. What's the worst self-service horror story that you've dealt with? I'll read all of the comments and create the content around it. And until you watch the next lesson, which is most likely somewhere below, above, around this video, stay curious about analytics, and I'll see you on the other side.